Welcome, everybody. So I want to welcome you back to Real Estate in Mazatlan. If you have any real estate concerns or you're considering investing here in Mexico or Mazatlan in general, please give us a call. Here's the numbers right here. And for those of you that are listening on YouTube, and most of you are, I want you to please subscribe and like our channel. We'd really appreciate that. Okay, so today, I want to talk to everybody about, and excuse my eye. I got a bug in there and I swatted my eye, okay? So there's a red spot on it. But anyway, it'll be fine in a week or so. But today I wanted to talk about a number of things. Number one, access our website if you want to see what's going on here in Mazatlan in the real estate perspective. Then after that, contact us and we'll talk to you about it or talk to you about the changes. And just remember that everything that is listed on anybody's website in real estate could be gone. So do some research. What you want to do is get a feel for the area and get a feel for the different type of properties that are available. You can obviously look at any website regarding real estate here in Mazatlan, and you can see all the varieties that there are. But the point I'm making here is there's no reason for you people to ask me for information because the issue is it's already out there. All you gotta do is look at it. But the thing is we work for exclusive clients only. Are you one of those? Because we're a no-nonsense company. I don't have time for games. I'm not playing. I'm going to tell you exactly what to expect. And I'm going to take care of you 100% of the way of the process. If you're one of those people that don't like to mess around and want to be able to trust somebody here in Mexico, we are your real estate company. If you want just anybody, well, they're out there. Remember what I've told you in the past. Do not trust real estate agents. You can trust a real estate agency once you've checked them out and made sure that they're licensed. But a real estate agent, 80% of them are not licensed here in Mexico. They're only interested in one thing. They're only making 1%. They want to get you through as quickly as possible, and they can care less what happens to you. They want their money. We, on the other hand, want you as a lifetime client. Once you are an exclusive client of ours, you're a client forever. We're watching after you. We're watching after your best interest. Okay, so today's topic, I was going to do scams again because there's so many traps that you can fall into here. But I think a more important topic is immigration and migrants, okay? What to expect here in Mexico, what you can expect to happen. Because clearly, these governments are trying to cover up all kinds of different things, and they're not telling you the truth. Who is telling you the truth is Donald Trump. He's going to deport all of them. If the law in the United States says this, if you didn't come to the United States 100% legally, you are a criminal. You have broke the law. We are looking for you. That's what the law says. Disagree with me all you want, but that's what the law says, okay? The United States is to follow the law. Law enforcement is to follow the law. So if you entered the country in any way illegally, look out because you're going to be deported. My suggestion is to just deport yourself so you don't have the trouble. Okay, but the problem is that they will be deported as soon as they put their kid in school, as soon as they sign up for a shelter, as soon as they sign up for assistance, as soon as they do any of this stuff, they're going to be arrested and deported. Why? Why can't I just stay with my children? Because you broke the law. Now, there's millions of Mexican families in the United States that struggled for years to get citizenship. And they got it. They worked hard. The Mexican people up there, some of the best people there are in America. They have businesses, they have everything, but they did everything the right way. Even those American citizens that are Mexican want these people deported. Why? Number one, most of them have no skills. Number two, they broke the law in the first place when they came there. Number three, they're never gonna have any skills. A lot of them are, well, every single one of them, mothers, children, young adults, teenagers, are criminals. They all broke the law. It doesn't matter what country they came from. It doesn't matter how they got there. If they're seeking asylum, let's talk about asylum just for a minute. Asylum is a request to a country to allow me to stay here because my country, my home country, is trying to kill me. Okay? That's basically the long and short of it. So if you came to the United States because you want a better life, yeah, you don't qualify. If you came to the United States because you have health issues, yeah, you didn't qualify. If you came to the United States with a child and you said, oh, I want a better life for my child, I'm sure you do, but you needed to qualify and you needed to come in legally. Okay? It's a problem. If you came into the United States pregnant and you had a child in there right now and you think you're going to be allowed to stay, the answer is you're not. You're going to be deported with your child. Your child has permission to stay, but you don't, which means you and your child have got to go. Okay? Now, let's continue to talk about asylum for a minute. Most of the illegals that are up there are pleading asylum, that they're in trouble in their country. Okay? Now, if they're Mexican people applying for asylum in the United States, yeah, that's not going to work because none of your government is coming after you. So that's a lie. You're not going to get asylum. Any Mexican that applies for asylum in the United States is not going to get it. Okay, that's number one. Number two, anybody pleading for asylum that is not Mexican or Canadian will not get asylum in the United States. And the reason why is, let's say you're from Ecuador. Let's say you're Venezuelan. And let's say that they're trying to kill you in your country. Well, I understand that. The only place you're allowed to apply for asylum is the first and next country that you enter. If you entered Mexico first, then the only country you're allowed to ask for asylum is Mexico. And they're not granting asylum for the moment. These people went directly to the United States through Mexico. Tell me I'm wrong if you want to, but when they are deported, they are to be deported to the country of origin that they entered into, which, in order to get to the United States, you had to have come through Mexico or you had to have come through Canada. Either one of those. And if you came through Canada, you're going to be deported to Canada. If you came from Mexico, you're going to be deported to Mexico. Mark my words, I'm just telling you what the law says, not telling you what I say. However, many individuals will be flown back to their country. Many. Now, if Mexico makes a deal with the United States and says, hey, we'll pay for the flights, then they won't be entering Mexico in all chances. But if they don't make a deal, they're coming right back here to Mexico. So you need to be prepared for reverse migration. On top of it, the Mexican president, Claudia Sheinbaum, says, oh yeah, if you're here illegally, we're going to tear down your tent. We're going to deport you. Well, she has started. That's really good. But she's got millions to go. They're going to destroy you just like they destroyed the United States. So in other words, all of those criminals, they're coming back one way or another. And they're going to be crossing the border in record numbers to get back here to Mexico. Okay? That's just the way that it is. Let me tell you why. Donald Trump said on day one, he's going to begin the mass deportation. He's going to use the police, the federal government, federal troops, everything to do that. Number one, he's going to close the border. He's going to put the military on the border, whether that's National Guard, U.S. troops, tanks, whatever, it doesn't matter. He's going to put them on there. Okay, and he's going to close the border, which means no more immigrants. Doesn't matter who you are. You're not considered at this time. You have to wait, okay? All right. Then they're going to begin rounding them up, and they're going to be putting them in concentration camps, places that have tents, and deport them one at a time. The asylum seekers that were already told you don't qualify for asylum, which is almost all of them, they're criminals of the United States. They're going to have a punishment of some type. I don't know what it's going to be. Maybe they'll just nicely, right? But this Democratic we have right now destroyed the world by allowing these illegal people to come in to the United States. The world is really happy. Venezuela, crime is down 85% there because all of their criminals are in the United States. And they were paid to get there. For instance, these people that come up and these migrants that pay the cartel to get across that border, where did they come up with $5, $10, $15, $20,000 to pay these cartels? They were broke in their country. If they had $5, $10, $15, or $20,000 in their country, they would have stayed. But no, they were given the money to get out of there. Okay, and they made deals. So those migrants that made deals with the cartel to get them across the border now, and I will pay you later, they're coming back to Mexico, and the cartels are going to be looking to collect their money. It's going to be a mess. Be prepared for that. Be prepared for that. There's going to be real problems, okay, with the migrants coming back here and being deported. It's going to be an unstabling situation for the United States, for Mexico, and for every country that has to take these people back. But you think this is new? No. Germany stopped them. Sweden stopped them. The United Kingdom is also deporting everybody they can find. Everybody is deporting these illegals that walked into their countries illegally. Okay? Now, every one of the migrants that got across that border that did not enter legally, they are criminals and they will be deported. Expect it, understand it, and understand why. It's because they broke the law. Yes, the Democrats gave them money, cell phones, free transportation, free hotels, free everything. They didn't give them citizenship, and they didn't give them the right to be there. They said you are to appear in court. Did they? Most of them didn't. But the ones that did, they said, yeah, no, you don't get asylum. You have to leave our country. Did they leave? No, they didn't leave. They're illegal either way. Okay? And that's what President Trump is talking about. Joe Biden and the Democratic people in the last 4 years, who would allow your country to be, who would do that? Would Mexico just allow anybody in there that wants to come into this country? Are you kidding? If I didn't come here legally, I'm looking at 10 years when I'm caught. Automatic. That's the law. I get 10 years. United States, oh, come on in. Free healthcare, free school, free medical, free food, free place to stay. So, of course, millions of people poured in there for the free stuff. Donald Trump says on day one he's cutting all funding to any sanctuary city that is providing shelter for these illegals. They're staying in hotels in almost every city in America. But the big cities, Chicago, New York, Los Angeles, Seattle, all these big democratic cities, sanctuary cities, yeah, they're going to change their tune when they don't receive any more federal dollars because they're violating federal law. So you're going to hear what a bad guy Donald Trump is and how horrible all this stuff is. Yes, it is horrible, but it must be done. The hospitals in the United States are overwhelmed. The school systems are absolutely a mess. How can you concentrate on kids that speak English when half of your classroom is kids that don't? What are those kids doing there? What are they learning? What is anybody learning? Well, the American education system is almost last on the world scale because of this. Okay? Businesses, yeah, they can't make it. They've hired illegals all over the place for cheap labor. They got to go. And it's just, I know it's tragic and I know it's very difficult, but you're going to see it. Just mark my words. They're coming back to Mexico. Mexico is going to struggle. What countries allowed these people to just walk right in? Canada and Mexico, right? The United States is going to hold them responsible. That's a fact. He already said automatic 25% tariff on all goods from Canada and Mexico. Automatic 25%. It is going to happen. Claudia can say anything she wants. The guy up in Canada can say anything he wants to. That's just the way that it's going to be. So who's actually going to pay for this deportation of all these people? Well, I would have to say right now, it's going to be China, Canada, and Mexico. They are going to pay for this deportation by the tariffs that are put. Now, what has also been said is if 25% doesn't work, it's going to go to 50, 75, 100, 125. So these countries are going to have to get on board with it, whether they choose to or not. Why do I say that? Mexico exports 80% of its products to the United States. Canada exports 80% of their products to the United States. They will cut you off. China right now is trying to say that, hey, we're not going to send any products to the United States. Well, that's good. We don't need them anyway. We don't need anything you're selling from any of those countries, to be honest with you. United States has their own food. United States has their own textiles. United States has their own electricity. United States has their own parts. If they need your parts, they'll make your parts. Believe me. Yes, it will decimate the United States for a certain period of time. But they're still the strongest nation in the world, and believe me, the American people will come back. So, the world is getting ready to suffer for what they did under the Biden regime, I'm going to call it. Okay? And every country that took advantage of the United States will be punished for that. Not because they don't like you. It's because you deserve it and you allowed it to happen. You never stopped it. Mexico never stopped one single caravan until now. Not one. That's a big problem. Now, Canada didn't have caravans that crossed. But you talk about drugs, fentanyl, people, they just walked right across the border. Big problem. Now, Mexico not only allowed these people from every nation in the world to walk through their country, they had them do something else too. Use children to get people across that weren't even theirs. These migrant caravans, the cartels captured these children and said, here, you need a kid to get across the border. Here you go. These kids have no parents. There's 325,000 plus children in the United States. They don't even know where they are. They don't know who their family is. They don't know anything. So the government has said that they're going to try to find these children and get them back to their families one way or the other. And most of these children are Mexican children. And that's a shame. It's terrible. Now, we all recognize that the cartel gets the products to. That's why the United States is trying to bankrupt China, and they will. They're going to stop this fentanyl from coming one way or the other. You all know the cartels, they'll find something else to do. There's no question about that. But if they keep this up, if they keep poisoning Americans, keep sending these problems to America, and they're coming, the problems are originating in Mexico and in China and in Canada, of course, those countries are going to be held accountable. And you can expect Donald Trump will do something about this. He knows what the problem is. If I know what the problem is, he certainly knows what the problem is. Now, in an interview yesterday, I'm going to close with this. They said, is anybody going to be, given a grace period, or are they just, is there any category of illegal migrant that's going to get by? He said, no. They said, what about the children? The children can be deported with the parents and will be. You're not going to abandon your child here. No, you're going to take them with you. You're the one that broke the law, not the child. You did. And the ones that don't have parents, of course, they're going to find their families and get them back there. That's what Donald Trump has said. Be prepared for this migration thing, and be prepared for what's coming, because I'm just letting you know what the United States law is and what to expect. It's a problem. Yeah. Tell me I'm wrong. I'm good with it. But I thought you should know, because things are going to change in Mexico drastically over the next 2 years. So for those of you looking to invest in real estate, oh yeah, do it. Because these people are coming, they need places to stay, and I think it's going to be in the reverse. The cartel's going to be giving them money to stay here. Get your rental properties, get your homes, get them now while you can. We love you, and I don't mean to be a bearer of bad news, but I do need to keep my people informed. You are my people. I love you. We love you. And I'm going to pray for you. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for these people here in Mexico and for those listening around the world. I pray for each and every one of those migrants and their families that they will be able to take what they've learned in the United States, the goodness, the way that they've lived, and that they'll be able to transform their countries to a place that they want to stay in. I pray for the deportation process, work, and that the whole world will rise bigger and better than ever before. These things I ask in the precious name of Jesus Christ. Amen. God bless all of you. We'll talk to you later. Pray for those migrants and pray for yourselves, because everybody needs it. We love you. Contact us here at Real Estate in Mazatlan anytime if you have any questions. Feel free to make your comments right here. Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear it. Have a great day. Talk to you later.